Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I am here with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And, of course, before we get too far in, we do want to thank all of you, the wonderful patrons that help support the show. So, a huge thank you to Cam Yang, Austin Johnson, Salix, Kane Martin, Damian Zink, Gate Guardian Support, HGH Cyber, Marshawn Jones, Witchcrafter Main 2022, Zyphorus, Zephyrus, AD, Aaron Gardner, Anthony Leela, Branded Fart, Brandon, Dank Nugs, Invoked Fart, Kevin Hugh, Lee. Yep. MBT's Big Ol' Bussy, Mountain Man, Owen Alvarado Pig, Rudolph Sneaky Links, Virtually Savior's World, What Does Pot of Greed Do, Andrew Gillix, Old Man Red, Ray Powell, Roto the 3 Please, and Slaking It Up. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. All right, and before we get too much farther, I do want to do all the things that I always forget to do, which is, hey, if you are buying some cards on TCG Player, be sure to check out our TCG Player affiliate link in the below. All you have to do is click the link before you shop, and it helps support the show at no extra cost to you. It's just going to redirect you to the TCG Player homepage and then just shop as if nothing has changed. And you will be doing us a huge help. Also, be sure if you're on Apple or Spotify, go ahead and leave us a rating and a review. Let us know how you feel about the show. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to comment down below and let us know what you think. You can always feel free to answer the podcast question of the day and stuff like that in the YouTube comments. So, with that said, you want to just hop right on into our main segment here?
Let's do it.
All right, so we are discussing the one, the only, the Baaanlist.
Woo!
So, the Baaanlist is, as always, as hot a topic as ever in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. It is kind of the evergreen content for us content creators. And I think we've done an episode where we kind of discussed the things going on in the format and kind of discussed the things that we thought might or could happen. But I'm pretty sure that at least for this format, we haven't done an actual formal Baaanlist prediction. So this will serve as our formal, actually, this is what we believe will happen on the Baaanlist. Now, Caleb and I have each made our own separate Baaanlists. So we're going to go through them bit by bit and kind of discuss what we think will actually happen on the list. And we're going to go through it not by banned, limited, semi, unlimited. We're actually going to go through it and we're going to talk about the format as a whole and kind of break it up into sections. We're going to talk about one engine and one package at a time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think we should go ahead and start with the problem child in the room.
Which one?
Fair. That is honestly very fair. I'll let you determine what you believe the problem child in the room is, and I'll flow with whatever you decide.
Well, why don't we? I'm just going to go in ABC order here.
That's fair.
So, to begin with, I believe they are. This is part of the part of the scythe package, because for some decks the scythe package is different. Vast majority of them are DPE scythe, but some of them don't need DPE to scythe lock you.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just going to call this Scythe package, as in Scythe itself and Artifact Dagda. I think they're going to ban Dagda.
And see, I fall more on the lines of banning Scythe.
Now, here's the thing. Scythe is the problem, not Dagda. Dagda's entire purpose is to fetch Scythe. I completely agree.
Right.
But Konami kind of does have this thing where they kind of sometimes overcorrect for the situation without hitting the problem.
Right.
So I really do think they're going to hit Dagda because they're going to see being able to like, during your turn to set a scythe, and then as soon as your opponent activates anything on the field, you just go, cool, chain scythe, set a chain Dagda to set Lancia.
Yeah.
and be able to just fetch Lancia for free.
My thing is, if you look at Konami's kind of the way that they do with Link monsters, I think that Dagda represents less of a problem than most of the other Link monsters on the list.
To be fair, if we go off their example of one of the more notorious Link monsters, they just kind of ban everything around it.
True.
Talking about Halka-Fibrax, where they just kind of literally banned everything around it except Halka-Fibrax itself.
That's true. All right, so let's just...
But that of course, that argument would be a point in your direction of them just straight up banning Scythe.
Right, so here's my... let's just look at... There's 10 Link monsters currently banned.
Yeah.
They are Guard Dragon Agripane, Guard Dragon Elpie, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, Nightmare's Goblin and Mermaid, Link Cross, Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty, Summon Sorceress, Topologic Gumblar Dragon, and Union Carrier. So, if we look at the reasoning behind each of these cards being banned, LP represented an easy Link 1 that allowed you to special summon from the deck.
Oh yeah, and like one of the major things that they would fetch was Brotar, which then let you search any light dragon you wanted.
And the thing is...
Or no, any dark dragon.
Yeah, they would primarily use Brotar there, but they could fetch a number of cards, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't just one thing that it could fetch. It could fetch a lot of things.
Oh, no. Like, let's say you already have the Brotar in hand. Oh, no. Oh, well, fetch Rocket Tracer.
Yeah, and Agripane causes similar issues, right?
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Foes Electromite is banned because it is entirely too generic with entirely too many different things. It basically... It turns Pendulum less into a Pendulum typing and more into Electromite Turbo, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nightmare's Goblin and Mermaid are their own thing. Link Cross was banned because it made tokens. So you went...
Halka-Fibrax, by the way.
Yeah, so you would just go Halka-Fibrax, summon Despot, summon Link Cross effect, summon tokens, Despot, make tokens. Use Despot and tokens to synchro, and then you would go up into Auroradon, and then bring the Despot back with more tokens. It was an insane combo line, and Link Cross was one of the most powerful extenders and enablers that we've had in the game.
Like, even without Halka-Fibrax, I'm pretty sure Link Cross at some point was going to get an axe.
Yeah. Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty tutored out any winged beast from your deck during the end phase. Essentially, you can say basically level 10 or lower, depending on how many back row you have set. But the ability to tutor whatever winged beast you want out of the deck was broken.
Oh, especially.
You could grab negates.
Yeah.
You could grab floodgates. You could grab cards that wouldn't let your opponent set cards on their field.
Yep.
Dark Simorgh, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, and then like you could also not only could you fetch the Dark Simorgh, you could also set what's that continuous trap card called? Anti-Spell Fragrance?
Oh yeah, Anti-Spell Fragrance plus Simorgh means your opponent cannot use spells or traps at all.
Dark Simorgh.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, your opponent can't set them, and they can't activate them unless they get set first, because the Dark Simorgh is awful.
Yep.
And then not only that, in this specific deck that could hard make it, Lyrilusk Tri-Brigade, specifically.
Mm-hmm. Or Pure Lyrilusk. So they would make this thing, get out Mist Valley Apex Avian, as a negate, or whatever they needed. And then at the end of your opponent's turn, if they didn't out the Simorgh, which is entirely possible, you could then special summon Celestine Wagtail, effect to grab a, or you could do Celestine Wagtail or I forgot the name of the one that searches for a monster to search. Cobalt Sparrow.
Cobalt Sparrow to get it to search.
Either Turquoise Warbler or Cobalt Sparrow.
It was Cobalt Sparrow. So like then you could grab the Turquoise Warbler, and then then your draw.
It provided extenders. It provided negates. It provided floodgates,
and follow-up plays.
And it also provided destruction protection for those cards that it points to.
Exactly.
It was broken, right? But the point was, my point that I'm making is, if you look at all of the links that are banned, specifically Union Carrier, Samorg,
Well, Union Carrier was banned.
LP,
is banned.
Agripane, because it tutors out
Yes.
pretty much a wide variety of cards from your deck, right?
Yes.
It might be only dragons, it might be only winged beasts, it might...
Union Carrier should have said only Union monsters.
I understand, but the point is that these cards tutored out whatever they wanted from the deck. Artifact Dagda doesn't do that.
Yeah,
it tutors out any artifact monster, which is fine if Scythe doesn't exist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, because then your only option is Vajra
Or Lancia. There's a couple other ones. Moral Talk.
Yeah, Moral Talk's pretty good, yeah.
But my point is I don't think Dagda has the same power level as the other links on the ban list, which is why I think they'll go with Scythe.
Yeah. Again, but that's me going kind of pessimistic in that they never hit a problem. They just hit everything around the problem.
Yeah. That's a fair... If you look at Konami's history, that is fair. I just don't really think that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
I think they'll identify Scythe as the issue. I mean, they identified Protoss as the issue.
Which surprised me. I was fully expecting them to start just hitting random
Cards here and there, yeah.
Sword Soul cards randomly and then never hit Protoss.
Yeah.
So hit Protoss. I was like, oh, hey.
I'll make the call. You made the first call. I'll make the new call on what we talk about next. So let's talk a little bit about the DPE package. I think that we can agree that the DPE package is incredibly good.
Oh my god, it's so oppressive.
Yeah, and DPE itself is a problem.
Heck of a card.
Because it allows you to tutor in to... First of all you need is 2 effect monsters to make the Verte.
Mm-hmm.
And then it lets you tutor into a destruction that continually revives itself every turn.
Anytime it's destroyed by battle or card effect. So you don't even have to pop itself. If you especially if you already have something on board that can pop the DPE
right
in an emergency situation where it's about to get shuffled back, you don't need to pop it.
Yep.
You can pop, I don't know, something else on your board, like the Verte at 500 attack.
Yeah, or the Scythe sitting in your back row, whatever.
Yeah, and then also pop something on your opponent's field on top of that.
Yeah, so I think that... And then once you get past the actual... DPE is a very strong boss monster. If you think about it, he's basically immune to destruction, because he's just coming back next turn.
Yeah,
Now, the other part about this is there's more to the DPE package than just DPE itself. You also have
more.
Dasher and Celestial. Dasher lets you just special summon one for free during your draw phase.
Oh no, I just top decked a Nibiru. Whatever will I special summon a 3K beatstick for free?
Yeah, or once you special summon that out of your hand, it's like, oh, I don't have any cards in my hand. Cool, let's Celestial draw 2?
Yep.
What?
On top of that.
Yeah, and then you have Fusion Destiny, which is a problem in its own right.
Because you can do it from hand or deck.
Yes. So, personally, I think that the actual answer here is really surprising. I think Celestial is the biggest issue. I think that the advantage that DPE nets you on its own is incredibly powerful, but I don't think it breaks the game wide open for the player that has it. I think that the draw two, right? I think that the draw 2 from Celestial when you combine, so DPE's entire basis and his entire mechanic is based around a strong way to generate card advantage with smart 1-for-1 trades over time. And Celestial breaks that open by saying, not only am I going to generate steady amounts of advantage by putting my opponent in both awkward situations and having a recurring 1-for-1 every turn. Which is basically not even a 1-for-1 because it's coming back.
Yeah. It's really kind of a 0.5-for-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But then on top of that, you're also just kind of going to kind of shrug and draw 2.
Literally. It's literally just Pot of Greed.
To be fair, you have to have an empty hand.
It's not difficult to
It's
get to.
not difficult to do. Especially with Dasher, just if you draw a monster, exactly. Special summoned, there it is. That's one card out of your hand you don't need.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting to me. But I really think that Celestial is the biggest issue, because not only does it let you generate incremental advantage over time, leading to you being ahead in advantage, but it also immediately, as soon as your next turn wraps around, it also lets you get way ahead in advantage ASAP, which is very strong.
Incredibly so. Now, here's the thing. I agree with you. Celestial needs to get the axe. Needs to have the banhammer of God dropped on them. I don't think they're going to do it to Celestial.
All right, what is your prediction for the DPE package?
Truth be told, knowing Konami and what they've done in the past, I think they're going to limit Fusion Destiny, which isn't going to do a lot outside of really limit the...
Fusion Destiny.
Really, it'll pretty much eliminate the make Verte, activate effect, negate. Cool, Fusion Destiny.
Right.
I'm just going to Fusion Destiny anyway.
Yeah, I think that limiting Fusion Destiny is fair, because it makes you more reliant upon... I feel like it kind of... I don't know, it's hard to say. It limits the amount of times that you draw into Fusion Destiny, but at the same time, is it really that big of a hit to the package as long as you can still get into Verte?
Oh, not at all. Listen, in my build right now, I'm only running one Fusion Destiny. Well, granted, a part of that is because I only own one copy of it, but even if I had 2, I would have a hard time fitting it in.
I think you should absolutely be running 2 Fusion Destiny if you're running a DPE package.
Oh, yeah, definitely, but the argument can be made.
You're like, but I only have 1, so therefore, it is correct for me personally to run 1.
Exactly, because I only own 1 copy. But like, even then, if you're like very much trying to very strictly stick to a 40 card count, that is a possible place you can cut it. Particularly if your deck can just kind of even like try to go burr and then just get hand trap central and just kind of shrug, make Verte.
Exactly.
At that point, you might as well just run 1.
So, next, let's talk about another engine that is running rampant in the format.
Rampant.
You want to introduce it, or do you want me to? You want me to do it?
Well, since you already started, you go ahead.
Okay. Let's talk about the adventure engine.
Woo!
So there's a lot of different ways Konami can go with the adventure engine. It's very new. It's only about 2.5 months old, maybe 3. I'm not entirely sure on the time frame.
Yeah, it hasn't even been out for a full Banlist yet.
Right. But it represents over 50% of top cut in each of the last 3 YCSs.
Closer to 60, isn't it?
It's like 55, something like that. I don't know. It's pretty generally getting like 18 to 20 spots in top cuts.
Yeah. Like, that's almost tier 0.
Yes, but...
To be fair, it's not a deck. It's an engine.
Exactly. That's where the trick really comes in, right?
That's
the rub.
That's kind of like saying Ash Blossom is tier 0.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. At the same time, it's also kind of a problem.
Yeah, because...
You get a bounce and a negate, all for the cost of...
It's just like I was saying earlier with DPE, it is enormous amounts of pure advantage off of potentially 1 card.
Not only is it pure advantage, there's also that negate on summon 2. Usually summon 3.
Yeah, usually 3.
It is possible to do on 2 if you already have the Griffin Rider in your hand.
Yes.
Because then you just activate...
Technically, at that point, it's possible on 1.
Well, because you still have to get the token out, especially
No.
summon it. No?
If you control no monsters or the adventure.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought you had to have the token on board.
there's, in my opinion, about 4 different ways they can go with the adventure package, right? They can either ban Griffin Rider.
Which, if they did, they have Illegal Knight coming out soon to replace it.
Right, which is not quite as good in some scenarios, but it's better in other scenarios.
Yeah.
But, so they can ban Griffin Rider. They can not touch the engine at all.
Which is entirely possible.
Right. Or they can do some variation of hits to Water Enchantress or Rite of Aramesir, which is basically options 3 and 4, double semis or double limits or something in those lines.
Yeah. Now, so whenever I made my list, I just kind of went, they're most likely not going to touch it, but let's just say they are.
Right.
For the sake of argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they hit it. I think they touch it. The engine's just entirely too prevalent right now.
Too generic.
Right. And it causes, I mean, just think about this. Without interruption, activate Water Enchantress. Add Right to hand. Okay, that's a 1-for-1. Activate Right, which is going to activate Fateful from the deck and summon a token. Basically a +1.
Let's call it a plus 0.5 because the token's not really a card.
Yeah, whatever. Call it what it is, right? It's an extra body on board.
Yeah.
With 2,000 attack and can be used as synchro material and link material. Which it is.
And fusion material. It can be used as fusion material.
I mean, theoretically, yeah. So, you're looking at advantage there. That's basically a +1. Plus 0.5, +1, however you want to say it. Then, Fateful, on normal or special, is going to add a 1. That's another +1.
And then you activate it.
And it adds another.
But then you have to discard one. But you discard specifically Draco back.
Which just equips itself. So that's not even like a discard.
That's not even a cost at that point.
So, you're looking at basically a +3 off of one card. Either Right or Water Enchantress represents a +3. And on top of that,
you have a bounce and a negate.
And Water Enchantress, if you top deck it, can just add the Right back from the graveyard.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, leaving Water Enchantress at 3 and Right at 1 doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot.
Listen, here's something you can do. So, previous turn, you've activated Water Enchantress. She banishes herself. So, you pass, it comes back to you. Let's say your PK. Make Leviair, activate for Water Enchantress, link to effective Water Enchantress, and just use the same Water Enchantress.
Yeah.
You can do that if you can make Leviair.
Yeah.
It's gross.
And then you don't even have to add a Right from your deck. You can add the 1 from your graveyard to do it again.
Oh yeah, or you can just add 1 from your deck, and then and so then like even if you let's say you do it 3 or 4 times, and if you got an all 3 Rights out of your deck and you still have 2 more Water Enchantresses, if you top deck another one, cool. Banish, grab 1 from graveyard. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, it's crazy.
At that point, your only limit is how many times your opponent can destroy your Faithful Adventure.
Right.
Most people I've seen only run 1 or 2 Faithful, usually 1. But they can just keep pumping out the token.
My thing is, I think they're going to look to address the consistency of this engine. And in that vein, I think personally that they semi-limit both Rite of Aramesir and Water Enchantress.
I think Konami's going to be way more heavy-handed than that. And just straight up limit them both.
Think so?
Yeah. Again, because with the Enchantress, if you recycle the Enchantress, you can just grab back the Right from your graveyard.
That's fair.
So that might just limit both. Another possibility is limit the Right, and then semi-limit the Water Enchantress.
Yeah.
Because then if you're stuck on one Right, you have to continuously recycle the same Right out of your graveyard over and over and over. Which kind of then also puts you in a position to where, your opponent can do things to it.
Yeah.
DD Crow can become involved. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that can banish spells from the graveyard. But anything that can just banish stuff from the graveyard for free can just ruin your day.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it still leaves Water Enchantress open to, of course, the normal hand traps. It has always been weak to with Ghost Bell and Ash.
Right.
Without limiting it.
I think personally, I could see them going either way. I could see them not touching it at all, honestly. But I think for the health of the format, it really probably should be addressed because of the pure advantage that it generates.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, most other things that it's just a 1-card +3 have been banned before, have been limited or banned before.
Probably, yeah.
Especially a +3 that you can just keep doing over and over again. Not during the same turn, during subsequent turns, but still.
So, with all that, let's just take a quick moment to thank our sponsor.
Woo!
So, huge thank you to E2B Games in Alexandria, Louisiana. They are, of course, our locals. They are wonderful. You can go there to get all of your card game needs for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Digimon. You can get singles, you can get sealed product, you can get deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, binders, anything you really need for these games that you love. You can also get things for tabletop games, such as the mats that you play on. You can get the figurines, the paint for the figurines, the books, the guidebooks and things. You have a great space to come and play video games if you want to do that. Be sure to check out E2B Games. Their link is in the description down below. And with that said, let's go ahead and get back on into the list.
So I was going to say we should probably talk about the underdog in the room next.
The underdog in the room?
Yeah, Salamangreat.
I mean, we can talk about Salad if that's what you want to talk about next. I was going to say meta decks, but I'm down for Salad. Let's go.
Well, I was going to say, let's kind of shake it up a little bit. Kind of, since we've done like a bunch of meta stuff, let's kind of shift to not tier 1.
I'm fine with this.
Bottom of tier 2, let's say. So I'm thinking that I think it's time. They'll probably go ahead and continue with Mirage Stelio. Go from 1 to 2, because even with just one Mirage Stelio, they haven't done anything.
They just topped the YCS a week ago.
Shh, we don't count that.
What do you mean we don't count? Okay, continue. No, it's okay. I'll hear what you have to say. I'll disregard it, but I'll hear it.
But no, like in all seriousness though, Mirage Stelio is a great extender, but they can only really use it once per turn if I'm remembering its effect properly. I think it has a hard once per turn, but then it gives them that second follow-up turn that without multiple gazelles, they just kind of can't do.
Right.
Yeah, it gives them that extra edge and that extra follow-up. And I also truly do believe that they might actually put Circle to 3.
I also have Circle going to 3 on my list. I don't have them touching Mirage Stelio, but I do have Circle going to 3 on my list.
Yeah. Again, it is what it is. It's very much a low tier 2 deck. It's a good deck. Don't get me wrong. Tier 2 is still good.
Yes.
And it's actually, in my opinion, one of the more cooler, like, designed decks. Like, the actual artwork and the designs for the actual cards themselves and how they function in with each other. And the reincarnation link summoning is super cool.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but I think you have to be careful with how much, like, I feel like this is a deck. Yeah, I feel like this is a deck where if you give them an inch, they can take a mile.
Very easily. They have 2 or 3 Gazelle. I fully suspect that they'll be able to just no matter what you do, they'll be able to reestablish the same board over and over and over and over, infinitely.
Pretty much.
And outgrind even the likes of Eldritch.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Oh no, you popped my monster. I'll just shuffle it back into the deck and remake it.
Yeah, I think that Salamangreat has a lot of potential. I've disrespected them in the past. I am choosing to not do that here. I think Gazelle can stay at 1. I think Stelio can stay at 1. But I think Circle to 3 is probably not overwhelming for the deck. I feel like this is a deck where you have to kind of be careful with the pieces you give them because they can kind of become...
It can become a problem if you're not careful.
Right.
It's
one of those critical mass kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's like Sky Striker. Like
I was gonna say,
Engage, multi-roll, Hornet Drones are all still at 1 because giving them too many of those cards back creates a critical mass of good cards. Same thing with Dragon Rulers.
Yeah. Well, I was also saying, I was gonna say it's more like Jenga.
Yeah.
Where the balance is the tower, and if you pull out that one wrong piece,
yeah, it can all come tumbling down.
Come tumbling down into being, I'm just going to keep putting out the same board. I mean, you can try to stop me, but
yeah. So, I would like to talk about meta some more.
Yeah. No. I just kind of wanted to put that out there and then move back into meta.
Yeah. That's fine.
Take a quick breather.
You know what? Let's keep on a meta breather. Let's stay away from the meta, actually. So, I have...
Do a little bit of a meta sandwich, then.
Yeah. We'll start with meta, we'll end with meta. I have a couple more unlimits.
Mm-hmm.
I have Scapegoat coming to unlimited. I figure if I'm going to talk about Circle, we can talk about Scapegoat.
Fair.
And I also have A Hero Lives coming to 3. So, Scapegoat and Hero Lives both got semied this list. They have not seen heavy meta play or representation, and I'm fine with both at 3. Scapegoat can get kind of iffy, but I think that there's other things doing more unfair things than Scapegoat having to set the card, wait a turn,
activate during your opponent's turn, and that's if they don't pop it.
Right.
And then even if they do pop it, they could force you to activate it before their battle phase and just kind of go boop, 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 boop.
Right. I think Scapegoat's a little too slow, and realistically, I understand that if you activate it during your opponent's end phase, it can represent a link 4 on your turn, but I don't foresee that being an issue. There's already so many decks that can generate link 4s with ease that I don't think that Scapegoat represents too much of an issue. The only really funny thing that I could see with the issue is they are all beasts.
Yes, that would probably be a major problem.
Would it though?
It could be.
Technically, yes. It is a 1-card Shureg. But again, you have to set it, wait till your opponent's turn to activate.
Yes.
You can't just activate it because it locks you out of summoning for the rest of the turn.
Not only is it a 1-card Shureg, it's also... what is the name of that synchro?
Nat Beast?
Level 4.
Oh, level 4? Which one?
It's the level 4 Light.
Herald of the Arclight?
Yes.
What about it?
It can also present a Herald of the Arclight.
How? None of them are tuners.
Link to an Affairjeet.
Okay.
Effect Affairjeet to special summon Kalantosa, who is very easily searched in...
Is Kalantosa a tuner?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I'm like 99% sure Kalantosa is a tuner.
You know what? I am going to look it up because the last time that I doubted you... No, Kalantosa is not a tuner.
Oh, okay. There is one of them that's a tuner that can special summon itself. That's like one of those. Like Kalantosa or the Deer.
I think there's an X-Saber Airbellum. That's a tuner.
But he's not a beast. Hold on.
It's a Beast Warrior.
Yeah, because there was... Someone had said somewhere... Hold on. Beast tuner.
Yeah, Airbellum is a beast.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's an option there with Elibero.
Yeah, but he's level 3, and the tokens are level 3.
Level 1.
No, the token... Oh, yeah, no. You're absolutely right. The tokens are level 1.
Yeah, that's still... Oh, no, you don't even need to do that. You can just activate Obedient Scold.
I guess... In theory, you could normal summon Rescue Cat. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can just normal summon Rescue Cat, exactly.
So therefore, the Scapegoat tokens are not the issue here.
Yeah, so individual tokens themselves. So they could present other problems, particularly with decks that can just pump out free tuners.
It's fine. It can come to 3.
I disagree. I think it needs to stay at 2. However, for mine limits, I have... Let me pull back up my list. A Hero Lives. I agree. A Hero Lives. I think A Hero Lives could come back to 3 because they're paying their half their life points to get a hero out of their deck.
Right.
I also think Yada can actually come off.
Oh boy.
I'm iffy on Time Seal only because it's a trap.
What?
Only because it's a trap card.
Yada is so much more of an issue than Time Seal. Time Seal takes 3 turns to do anything.
But like I said, in my opinion though, Yada is...
In my opinion, you're wrong.
Is a little bit worse because you have to declare an attack. And the problem that
is sinking in the attack.
not only sinking in the attack, the main way that people would sink in that attack, like every way that people used to do the Yada lock, have all been errated, so it doesn't even work anymore.
Correct. The old Yada lock does not work anymore. I think Yada and Time Seal could both come to 3 and be fine. I don't think either one of them would present an issue, but I don't think Konami will do it out of sheer spite.
I think
Yada is one of those cards that I will never formally predict Yada going even to 1, because Yada, it's like the Exodia pieces. Like why is why are the arms and legs of Exodia still there? Even in an Exodia draw deck, you would only run one of all the pieces because they're bricks.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those cards that it's there for lore purposes. It's been on the ban list longer than any other card in the game consecutively. Therefore, like, it has been consecutively banned longer than any other card in the game. I don't think that they're looking to change that. I see where you're coming from. It absolutely could come to 3, and I don't think it would be an issue at all.
Yeah, like, now I'm talking about completely unerrated from the way it was before.
Yeah.
Just re-release it with problem-solving card text. Don't change the effect outside of adjusting it for... Yeah. And everybody would just kind of look at that and go, cool, small world target. Small world bridge.
I don't even know if they would do that, but yeah, I see where you're coming from. The thing is, it can't be special summoned.
Yeah, because it's a spirit. That's kind of what spirits do.
Yeah, so you have to use up your normal summon every single turn to do this.
Like, you have to sync your normal summon, then you actually have to sync the attack.
Yeah.
And not just an attack, you have to sync a direct attack.
Yeah, I think Yada would be fine. I don't think they'll do it, but I think it would be fine. But yeah.
Especially with oh my god, Smorg band, the Smorg Link band.
Yada is a spellcaster.
No, because there's I had a line in my head, and now it's gone.
Poof.
Yeah.
So, my total unbans would be Hero Lives, Circle, Scapegoat. I actually have Fusion Destiny being unlimited from 2 to 3 because I have Celestial being banned.
You know what? If they do ban Celestial, I could totally see them unlimiting Fusion Destiny.
But you have yours as Fusion Destiny
being limited.
Right.
Because I don't think they're going to touch Celestial. However, if they did ban Celestial, people would then just shift over to using, like, Plasma or Malicious.
Potentially, yeah, but...
depending upon what
then you're adding extra bricks, so I think it's fine.
Like, full-on bricks, because at least with Celestial, you can normal summon it, and then it has another effect on field.
Right. Malicious could be kind of an issue. It's already seeing text in some decks like VW, but I don't think it's good.
Then Plasma's only good in decks that...
Weird decks.
Like, if you open with it, as long as you can put 3 monsters on board, you can just drop skill drain on your opponent.
Right. So, I have one other unlimit, which is actually Night Assailant. This card has been errated in the OCG. Just a very small, simple errata to where it's either a hard once per turn or it can't fetch itself.
Oh, no. They changed this text to now state you can add 1 flip monster from your graveyard to your hand, except Night Assailant.
Did they make it a hard once per turn?
No.
Oh, yeah, they don't need to, honestly.
Yeah, because it literally just says it cannot grab itself.
Yeah, so I think with an errata, this will come to 3. I think it'll come to 3 without an errata, if I'm being honest. I'm not that scared of a Night Assailant loop, but, whatever. All right, let's get back into the meta.
Yeah.
So, I personally think that Prank Kids will see an additional hit beyond the DPE engine and beyond the Adventure engine. I think that this deck is one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the meta.
Especially right now, because people are still figuring out the Branded Despia deck.
Right. So, with it being what is, in my opinion, one of the top 2 decks in the meta, we'll just say that. I think that they're going to hit it whether they hit the Adventure engine or not. Therefore, I have Meow Meow Moo being banned.
I also have Meow Meow Moo being banned. But now that I'm thinking about it,
I'm
thinking they might actually limit one of the
kids.
Roxy's, Lamsies, Fansies, or Dropsies. I don't know which.
Fansies would be the hit there to me because Fansies provides the most advantage in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they might so you're thinking if they do limit one, it'll be Fansies.
Yes, I think if they do something beyond Meow Meow, I think they limit Doodle Doo.
Very possibly. Another possibility is that they limit Dropsies and also completely eliminates their Toad line.
Yeah, but I think the thing about...
Are they even running Toad anymore?
I don't know, if I'm being honest with you. I have not been keeping up with the lists that closely.
Neither have I. Like, last time I looked at a list, they were all running Bahamut Shark into Toad. Which is stupid that they can do that, but it's hilarious, and I love them for it. But they need to stop.
Was it Bahamut Shark into Toad, or were they just running Toad? What level is Dropsies?
I think he's level 4, isn't he?
No, he's level 2, so they were just going straight into Toad.
Straight into Toad, okay. I couldn't remember if he's level 4 or 2, so I couldn't remember if he's Bahamut Shark into Toad or just straight to Toad.
Yeah, that's fair,
Yeah.
So, I think that, realistically, in my opinion, they hit the Prank Kids engine. I really could see them limiting Doodle Doo, but I think they ban Meow Meow instead.
Yeah, again, I completely agree with banning Meow at this point.
Limiting Doodle Doo is an interesting hit, because Doodle Doo represents... See, a lot of times they already use Doodle Doo twice on turn 0. Sometimes they'll go through multiple Doodle Doos because they're not afraid to shuffle it back. They want to use it to kind of get their entire engine going and use it to keep cycling things and keep putting more stuff at their disposal. And limiting Doodle Doo does help solve some of the issues of the deck. But I think banning Meow Meow is much more efficient at solving the issues of the deck. Although, again, a limit to Doodle would be very strong.
Oh yeah, but no, I think the correct call here is just ban Meow.
But I think regardless, if they hit the Adventure engine and the DPE engine...
At that point, I'd say don't even bother with the
I think they still have to... I think they still have to address Prank Kids, because I don't think they're going to hit the Adventure engine hard enough to nerf Prank Kids.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. On my list, I've only got them semiing Right and
that's
Water
fair.
Enchantress.
I was thinking of my list where it's limited.
Yeah. So
at that point, don't even bother. At that point, like, they're still a threat,
but it's just not the same.
It's just nowhere near the same, and it's still tier 1, but
it's not the same.
No.
So I have one other meta hit on my list. Do you have any more?
Let me double check my list. I have one limited. One limit from Banned to Limit.
See, and I've got a couple Banned to Limits, but I forgot to add a card to my limited predictions. I'll just put that in there at the end.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and say my one, because I'm 99% sure you also have this on your list.
Sure.
Limit to Blaster. Go ahead and put Blaster at 1.
I also have Blaster limited, yeah. But as far as meta, though, what I was going to say is, not to cut you off, I was going to come back to Blaster.
Yeah,
but
we'll circle back around.
Yeah, I also have Tenyi Spirit Ashuna being limited. I understand that Sword Soul is not seeing the highest levels of representation at YCSs, but it is a measurable amount. And don't get me wrong. I realistically see a world where they do not touch Sword Soul at all.
I personally don't think they're going to touch it.
And I totally respect that, and I would love to see them not touch it. But
let's be a little pessimistic.
Yeah, I really think that there's a good chance that Ashuna gets the limit, because Ashuna is probably the best one.
Oh my god.
Ashuna's really strong.
Now, coming from a person who plays against Sword Soul a lot, Ashuna's definitely the strongest main deck monster.
Yes.
Easily the strongest. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, Taiye is good, Long Yan is good because the special summon on discard plus a token plus the burn.
Yeah.
And that burn racks up over time.
And Mo Yi is crazy.
Yeah, Mo Yi is great.
Mo Yi into Chi Zhao is literally just engage.
Yeah, exactly. But, and that's a big but, and I cannot lie. I think with Sword Soul, the bigger problem lies in the extra deck.
Where specifically?
Specifically Chi Zhao, and not even because he's a negate.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the normal summon Mo Yi reveal becomes engage.
Right.
That you can then just do again next turn.
I think that Ashuna, though, provides you so many additional lines in the deck, and it gets you into so many different things.
To be fair, it does Wormlock you. But Sword Soul does not care.
Correct.
Because, like, I think, like, what is I think in the entire deck, they only run 2 non-worms, and that's, like...
Mine is 3 in the extra... 4 in the extra, and 3 in the main deck.
Yeah, but...
Not including tuners.
But I mean, I'm not including hand traps.
Yeah, I'm not including hand traps there.
And I'm not including, like, cards that are specific to builds.
Yeah, so... Generically... Like, in most Sword Soul builds, you'll find Hauki Fibrax, Auroradon, Deskbot, and Herald of the Arclight.
And Baron.
Baron is a very important one to note here. And Ecclesia. So those are the ones that you'll see the most. And other than that, I am running the Magic-y Beast Tuner with Instant Fusion, which is very out of the norm.
Oh, funny fact about that, actually, real quick, that we discovered last time we were playtesting.
Which came up last night in playtesting, also against a different person.
So, Ecclesia has an effect where if a fusion monster gets sent to your graveyard this turn and she's in your graveyard, you can add her back to your hand in your green phase. Doesn't say how the fusion needs to be sent or where the fusion got sent from.
Yeah, so you literally can go normal Ecclesia, activate effect, special Mo Yi, activate instant fusion, special the Magic Key Beast, Synchro 8, make Chi Zhao, draw a card, search a card, and during the end phase, add Ecclesia back.
Yeah. It's kind of
stupid. Crazy.
Kind of a little bit of a fun fact there.
Yeah, definitely. So
that one's free.
I have a few other limits. So banned to limit. I think Konami showed last list that they're willing to unlimit some cards that are strong but don't necessarily break the game. I mean, they unbanned Astrograph, they unbanned Lunalight Tiger, they unbanned Snow, they unbanned Destrudo. So I think that it shows a willingness to ease up on some of the power cards. And
at bare minimum, kind of experiment a little.
Right.
See, okay, well, let's unlimit this. Okay, it really didn't do too much. Let's keep it there. Okay, let's unlimit this. Ooh, that's actually doing a lot. Let's keep that at 1. Let's go ahead and move this up to 2.
Right, exactly.
They can kind of sit there and see how all the new cards interact with the old ban cards.
So I have Blaster going from 0 to 1.
As do I.
I have Wind-Up Carrier Zenmaity going to 1. I will always put this at 1 on every Banlist prediction ever, even if I know it's probably going to be wrong, but this card can come to 1.
Only if Hunter gets banned.
Nope. Hunter can stay unlimited, and this card can still come to 1.
Really?
Yes.
No fear of the hand loop?
None. It dies to interaction.
There.
We have never had that hand loop with Infinite Impermanence and Ash Blossom and things of that sort. That hand loop dies
to be fair
to the hand traps of the format.
To be fair, we also have the Ibagishki hand loop at full power.
And nobody is touching it.
It's a local deck at best.
Exactly. That's my point. Carrier can come to 1. I think Carrier could come to 3 with Hunter still unlimited. And it would be very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that it would be tier 1. I think that it would just be interesting.
I'm thinking the deck, like, full power would probably be around where Salamangrate's at, power-wise. Just due to how much you can just keep flooding the field.
That's the thing, yeah. It's a slippery slope with windups just because with Zenmaity at 3, even if you do Hunter, Band, and Zenmaity 3, I've seen builds that will put out multiple Link 4s. Like they can go literally like I've seen them loop Topologic one of the
Zeroboros?
No, the it's not Gumblar, because Gumblar is banned, but
Bomber.
Yeah, maybe it's Bomber, or maybe it's... No, sorry, use your Skull Dread. Yeah, no, they can loop Saryusha Skull Dread.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh,
yeah.
No. Here I was thinking, like, one loop to get the one Zenmaity on board, again to get a second, again to get a second. F-Zero, Utaba Dragon feature.
They don't even need to do that. They can literally go into Saryusha Skull Dread and like go crazy. Like that deck is actually
theoretically
3 Zenmaity might actually be a problem.
Theoretically, you could also, like, instead of doing that, you could go all 3 loops, get all 3 of them out, and then make Mega Clops.
Also possible, yes.
Which is funny. But being able to loop Saryuja Skull Dread of all things.
Yeah, that deck would actually be really crazy at full power. So, I'm fine with Carrier. I'm fine with Carrier at 1. And the other card I have coming back to 1 is kind of pure cope, but I would really like to see it happen, is Denglong.
Listen, we all know how much. I should be told, I would want to see Denglong back at 1 just to watch it. Just watch everything burn down around me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that we can reasonably predict Denglong coming to 1 with some semblance of confidence, because of the reprint of 9 Pillars of the Yangzang. And again, I understand, I get it, it's cope. But I think that there is absolutely a world where Denglong comes to 1 and is not the biggest problem card in the format. I do not think it would have more of an impact than Fairy Tail Snow. How's that?
You know what? That's fair. That is entirely fair.
I think Fairy Tail Snow has much more impact than Denglong would if Denglong was back. And
to be fair, Denglong at 1 specifically.
Yeah. I don't think even if it was at 3, I think you'd probably only run 1, maybe 2. But like you get like extra deck monsters are just a little bit different. You know, it's not like I'm not relying on drawing into it, so therefore I would probably only play 1. That way I have the rest of my extra deck toolbox to work with. But still, yeah, no. I think Denglong could realistically come back to 1 and kind of be fine. Like I said, I don't think it would be better than Tiger. So, I only have 1 other card left on my list that we haven't talked about, which is Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. And I'll be honest, I just picked a card on the limited list that I was like, yeah, this could probably come to 2 and be fine. Because I feel like there's a bunch of cards on the limited list that could come to 2 or even 3 and probably be fine. And I feel like they pick 1 random card. It's like they spin a wheel and they're like, yeah, that would probably be fine. And they just like throw it to 2. And I feel like this is maybe one of the weakest cards on the limited list.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the card does.
Me either. That says something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hold on. I will look it up to make sure it isn't something that's just like draw 2.
It's not. It's not.
What was it called again? Mist Valley?
Divine Wind of the Mist Valley.
Divine Wind of the Mist Valley.
Yeah, go ahead and read the full effect out for people that don't know like us.
Let's see. Once per turn, if a wind monster controls returns to the hand, special summon a level 4 or lower wind monster from your deck.
It wouldn't see play.
It would have?
Potentially in Lyreless Tri-Brigade.
It would have if Samorg was still around. Because you're guaranteed that effect with Apex Avian.
That's true.
Also, I don't think that was...
It's a soft once per turn.
Yeah, okay.
It's fine, though.
It's also a field spell.
It's fine.
It might as well just be a hard once per... Well, no. Because...
Ancient Fairy Dragon is also banned. Terraforming is limited. It's fine. It can go to 2 or even 3.
Yeah, because at that point, it's just a worse Lost World.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, my full ban list. Every card. My banned, I have Scythe, Celestial, Meow Meow Moo. Limited, I have Denglong, Wind-Up Carrier, Blaster, and Tenny Spirit Ashina. My semi-limits are Water Enchantress, Rite of Aramasir, and Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. And my unlimits are A Hero Lives, Fusion Destiny, Salamangreat Circle, Scapegoat, and Night Assailant with an errata.
Alright, so over here we have, for me, we got Banned, Dagda, Meow Meow Moo, Limit of Fusion Destiny, Blaster, right, and Enchantress. Semi-limit, Mirage Stelio. I say it like that because I have question marks in my notes.
Fair.
And unlimit, Yada, Salamangreat Circle, and A Hero Lives.
All absolutely fair.
Dadagarasu.
Do you have any other cards you want to talk about and just throw in there at the end? That's a big pause.
Yeah, I was sitting there trying to think there was anything. I was like, no, I don't think there is.
I think that you could see something with some random card out of nowhere, like Harpy's Featherstorm. That card's broken.
Yeah.
I think that you could realistically see some kind of a hit. There's so many decks that are they're worth hitting. Personally, I would like to see a lot of Floodgates just straight up banned.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I would like to see things like Summon Limit, in my opinion, should be flat out banned.
Oh my god, yes.
I think they should limit cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance. They should limit cards like Goes in Match, Rivalry of Warlords, Tikaboo, Skill Drain. I think all that should be either limited or banned. I'm going to be honest, I hate those cards.
Any card that pretty much just says you don't get to play the game.
And my thing about Tikaboo and Goes in and Rivalry is the rulings on them, to me, are so... what's the word I'm looking for?
Eclectic?
No, it's like... It doesn't make sense for no reason. Like, there's a way... It's unintuitive. That's the word.
Unintuitive.
They're so unintuitive because...
Give an example.
Okay. If I have... Like, let's just say... And this would, like... Never happen. But if I normal summon... Okay, this is an example that can happen. If my opponent has Tikaboo up...
Mm-hmm.
And I normal summon the like a Dotscaper... I cannot link it off into a Cyberse Link monster. Because that would mean I would control one, and I can only have one of that type, right?
Yeah.
So, going from one Cyberse into one other Cyberse, to me, that should still work. Because I never control two. Because...
You know what? That's fair.
It's the same thing with Rivalry and Gozen.
Isn't there also a ruling to where, let's just, for Rivalry and Gozen specifically, where let's just take Gozen specifically because the attribute's a little bit easier. Like, let's say I'm locked into Earth, you're locked into Water, and then I mind control your Water. Isn't the ruling that then it just goes straight to the graveyard?
I don't even know if you can attempt to do that. For that reason. See, that's the thing. The rulings on those cards are so dumb.
Because I read somewhere that you could still do that, but then the non-Earth monster in my situation would just go straight to the graveyard. I will double check that to make sure I read that correctly.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and get on into the podcast question of the day, and you can catch, if you find that, you can let me know.
Yeah.
So, last episode's podcast question of the day was, what do you think is the best tech card in the meta right now? So we got some good answers. Things like Gozen, D-Barrier, Rivalry, Summon Limit. Wow! Do you notice anything about those cards? They're like 3 of the 4 cards I just said. Somebody literally just said Floodgates. Yeah. Super Poly is very funny. True. Dimensional Barrier again. Upstart Goblin for consistency. Oh, wow. Also, I saw... people saying things like Night Beam. I think Night Beam is an amazing tech card. Something else that I saw, somebody playing it. Christian Urena played it in his top 4 Sword Soul list. Was Anti-Magic Arrows.
That is cool. Okay,
yeah.
Here's an eclectic ruling for you.
Unintuitive.
Yeah, unintuitive. Gladiator Beasts.
Uh-huh.
If there's a Gladiator Beast in your deck, you could summon out of your normal summon out of your hand. So let's say you're locked into Earth and you have a second Earth in your deck.
Yes.
You can tag out and put a Water on board.
Yeah.
As long as you have an Earth in your deck, as long as you have it.
Yeah. So if I normal summon Ray, I can activate Ray and go into a different type as long as I have a valid target. Yeah. It's the same thing with if you have
as long as you have Zeke, is it?
Yeah, Zeke. Yeah. It's such a stupid ruling.
Oh, here it is. You can take control of an opponent's monster that's the wrong type or attribute with a card like Mind Control. If you do, it is sent to the graveyard immediately after you gain control over it.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. The rulings are so unintuitive. So you're telling me I cannot normal summon one and then link one because I can't, you know what I mean? Because I cannot attempt to put another one on board, but then I can attempt to take control of one? That makes no sense.
I think, okay, for that, I think it's because you're summoning it. I think because when you're taking control, you're not summoning it.
Still, you're attempting to control one that is wrong. See, that's what I mean. They're so unintuitive. None of them should work the way they do. They should all just be banned. Anyway.
Do the old, what was the card's name? Behemoth.
Oh, I have no idea. Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Yeah, old Yu-Gi-Oh card. Something Behemoth. 1500 attack. Once per duel it can revive itself.
I don't know. Anyway,
back in the day, it was banned because it was calling all kinds of...
No. It wasn't banned. It was either limited or semi-limited. Twin-headed behemoth.
Twin-headed, yes. No. It was limited because it was causing all kinds of rulings issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate those cards. Anyway, let's talk about this week's podcast question of the day, or this episode's podcast question of the day, which is, what is one question you would like to ask a pro player? Be sure to leave these questions. This is a big one. I want as many questions as possible because the next time we have a pro player or high-level player on the podcast,
we're going to ask them those questions.
Yes, I absolutely plan on asking them some of these questions. So be sure to let us know some of the questions that you want answered, and we will incorporate these into our next interview. So
I do ask you, please try to keep it generic, not like deck specific.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless this pro player
is known for that deck. Right. So, with all of that said, I want to say one last thing before we end this episode. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of our listeners. Thank you, all of the followers. The people that have joined the Discord server. The people that are doing our remote duel locals. The people that have followed and left ratings and left reviews and subscribed on Patreon and really made this happen. I'm thanking you, the listeners. This is coming from the bottom of my heart. This episode marks 1 year since we started posting episodes.
Heck yeah.
This episode will go out on Friday, May the 6th. Our first episode was on May the 7th of last year, 2021. In 1 year, we have done over 100 episodes. We have done over 60,000 plays. That means this podcast has been listened to, not just started and listened for 10 seconds and stopped, but at least listened to for a few minutes. Our average consumption is in the neighborhood of 90%.
So it's fairly safe to say, let's just ballpark, because some of our episodes are longer, some of them are shorter, 1 hour ish per listen.
Yeah.
That's 60,000 listen hours, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, across all platforms, Spotify, Apple, and I am throwing YouTube in there, even though it's our smallest platform. We have over 60,000 plays in a year.
That would be 2,500 days worth.
Yeah.
Or 6.85 when we round up years.
Yeah.
Woo!
We are averaging now currently over 1,000 listens per episode. And we are, over the course of our entire time doing this, we've been doing this 52 weeks, and you're looking at about, a little over 1,000 listens a week since we started. Which is crazy, because when we started, we were getting like 10, 15 per week.
Listen, I was super excited the first time we got 20 in a week.
I remember when we posted our first episode, I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas with my wife. It was our 5th anniversary trip. We posted the first episode. We actually recorded, I think, 2 episodes before I went on the trip. And we posted the first 2 episodes. And the first episode that went out, I think I checked the numbers while we were sitting down for breakfast one morning, and we had like 15 plays or 14. And I remember sitting there thinking, wow, this is crazy. We already have over a dozen people listening, or a dozen listens. And now we're averaging 100 times that per episode, just about.
It is very humbling, to say the least.
Yeah, we absolutely could not do this without you, the listeners. Y'all are out there sharing this with your friends, telling people about it. Y'all are out there supporting us. Y'all are coming, and like I said, coming to the Discord server. We have enough people to where we can run a small remote duel locals basically every week. Our Discord server is one of the most active servers that I'm in. It's not like other small server. I mean, sure, we only have around 250 people, but you're literally talking about a 250 person server where we probably average a few hundred messages a day. It's really, really active. And our community is just... I'll be honest, right now, I have a lot going on in my life. Work has been crazy. For those that don't know, I was in a car wreck a couple of weeks ago, so I'm trying to find a car. I'm trying to manage work. I have a wife. I have a 5-year-old. And sometimes those days suck. Before we recorded tonight, I had to literally sit there with my head in my hands and pull myself together, because life is stressful. But the one thing that I always come back to is this: the podcast, the community that has grown and evolved around this podcast has been nothing short of an absolute blessing. There's really not enough words to say how thankful that I am to have such a supportive community, to have so many people that I can go, I can go into voice chat in our server just about any day of the week and find somebody to talk to. I can hop in the server. I can talk to people. If I want to talk Yu-Gi-Oh, I can talk Yu-Gi-Oh. If I want to talk other stuff, I can talk whatever. And it's so humbling and so incredibly, I think humbling is really the only word that does it justice. To think that we have so many people here that care so much. We aren't the only ones that care about this. There's a whole community of people that love this and care about this. And that really, really means a lot to both of us. And without you guys, without the community, this would not be possible. We could not keep up the pace that we keep up. We could not keep up 3 episodes a week, 2 on the main platforms and 1 on Patreon every week. We record constantly. I got off work after 9 o'clock tonight. I didn't get home till 9:30. And now we're here recording. And
it is currently 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go home for after this and go edit.
Right. And Caleb's going to spend, probably a good chunk of time editing.
About 3 hours.
Yeah. And then it's going to go out in the morning.
8 a.m.
Every Tuesday and Friday. And this has just become a regular part of my life. And I could not see it any other way because of the community. Because of you guys.
Clap, clap.
Yeah. So huge kudos to you guys. A huge shout out to you guys, the community. I love y'all to death. And I don't know what I would do without y'all in my life right now. Because, like I said, life is stressful. And every time I go into the Discord server and chat, or go on Twitter and go back and forth with people on Twitter, it's nothing but positivity. It's nothing but just a warmth.
Super cool dudes being super cool.
Pretty much, yeah. So from the bottom of my heart, and I think I can speak for Caleb when I say this.
Yeah.
Thank you. It means the world to us. This has been a wonderful year, and we hope to keep going for quite a long time. So thank you all again for your support. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up now. I'm going to do my normal wrap up. So sorry to get sappy there for the last few minutes, but thank you again. But yeah, so be sure to check out all of our links down in the description below. This is, of course, our Patreon, our TCG Player affiliate link. Join the Discord, come hang out with us, follow us on Twitter, leave the likes, the ratings, the reviews, the comments, leave all of that. We read it all. Trust me, we read it all. And be sure to check out Team Dark Arm Dealings. They're our sister channel on YouTube. They do a lot of deck profiles and things from tournaments that we go to. And be sure to check out ETB Games, the sponsor, of course. They are in the description down below. So, with all that said, truly, thank you, and have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.